Okay, so I just checked out the Saw 2 Scott Tibbs documentary, and this was a documentary I've been wanting to check out for a while now. I've heard a lot of diverse response towards Scott Tibbs' character. Some people say he's an asshole, some people say he's a dickhead, some people agree with his mindset on Jigsaw. And one thing I can say about the Scott Tibbs documentary, which I think is 100% spot on, and as if I'm remembering all the movies correctly, it's been a while since I've actually watched 1 through 7. But if I'm remembering the Saw movies correctly, we actually don't know what the public thinks of Jigsaw. Like obviously, like throughout the franchise, there are news reports, but really that's only really like one person's perspective. It's not like the overall the overall general public. And I think Scott Tibbs, I think going around kind of hearing what teenage kids have to say, hearing what the community within this documentary have to say about John Kramer, and whether or not they believe his morals are rather wrong. I think that was an interesting as fuck take to take this documentary, because I think it added many more layers to the Saw world, because yeah, because if the Scott Tibbs documentary, like, this takes place before Saw 1, but in between Saw 2 and after the events of Saw 2 as well. So it takes place in three different times within the Saw universe. And Amanda makes a cameo in this for like a brief appearance, which I believe her scene, like, she was still smoking, so that would have taken place, I want to say, just shortly after she got out of the reverse bear trap in Saw 1. So I want to say that was either within weeks apart or months apart. Because I know at this point, and then they also talk about, Eric Matthews being kidnapped, by John Kramer, which that was at the end of Saw 2. So yeah, like, this documentary takes place, like, really all throughout the first two Saw movies. Which, yeah, it still has that, like, that timeline fuckery to it that this franchise does have, where it's not where you have to kind of put the puzzles together at how this timeline goes together, so there is one continuous story. And so yeah, I do like how they brought that back to this documentary, and how there is a guy who's obsessed with John Kramer. I think this franchise always needed a character like that, who he had his own mindset, and didn't matter what anyone else said. Like, he always stood to his stood his own ground. He always stayed to his own opinion. Which, if a character and a person can do that, I respect that majorly. Like, maybe the way he went about it in the documentary, like he was a bit of a dick to everybody, because he is a big metalhead. He's in this band called Wrath of Gods, that and I think the fame got to him a bit, and so you see him treat other people differently as, like, lower class citizens. Like, there was this guy in a singlet, that he was talking to inside a car. And yeah, and so, like, and I think, yeah, he kind of thought, since he was famous and he was always telling people, like, oh yeah, I'm in a band called, Rap for Gods, mate. Have you ever heard of it? And all of that. And so, like, yeah, I think he's a bit of a dick the way he goes about it, but I think he has the right morals. He has the right morals of kind of reaching out to the community and hearing what exactly they have to say, on the John Kramer killings and murders that are currently going on in present day, within this documentary. And so, like, yeah, that I found is just really interesting. But yeah, no, I think the thing that I think most I like the most about the Scott Tibbs documentary is how you hear, like, multiple perspectives, and I think everybody's pretty spot on. Everybody thinks what John Kramer is doing is wrong, and there's another way to go about it. And yeah, it seems like Scott Tibbs is one who he's forcing his opinion, on everybody else. He's trying to make other people, believe what he's believing in. Yeah, I think there's these multiple layers to his character, and the ending to this documentary as well, where he literally creates his own, trap, and puts himself in his own game, where there's a timer set up and he has to